And welcome to the Part-Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And joining me, as always, as we go along this journey of Doctor Who, is one Mr. Fancy Francis. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Just living the dream. I got nothing to complain about, brother. We're watching Doctor Who and talking about it. Which, had you asked me if I was going to watch Doctor Who a year ago, I would have told you no. Why would I do that? And here I am watching it, and we're on season 1, episode number 3, The Unquiet Dead. This episode was okay for me. I liked it, but it was just okay. Again, I don't know what their purpose is or why this show is here. But you're not going to get that with every episode, right? I thought I got in the episode 1, then episode 2 said no, and then episode 3 definitely said no. As they just continue to travel time, and they go back to, I can't remember what the year was, but where Charles Dickens is. Charles Dickens is alive. So 18 something or another. And it starts with this, like, you're at a funeral home, and this guy saying his last respects to someone that he knows, and something flies into her, and she comes to life and kills him. Right? He dies, doesn't he? Do they specifically mention that?
Ooh, I don't know if he's dead.
Because
I think
that here's my thing with that. And those of you watching, you can go ahead and let us know in the comments, because you guys know more than I do, especially because this is my first time watching it. Is that not the guy who becomes a doctor later in this? Was that not David Tennant or something like that? Was that the same actor?
I don't know if I even put any of that together.
It looked like it was. But then again, what am I looking at? I don't know.
Now I'm gonna have to go look at this.
See, and I'm looking it up as we're on here. I don't typically do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it, because why not? Because I want to know. Because I thought maybe you would know. I really did.
It seems like something that I would know, but I for some reason I didn't even notice any of that.
And see, he's not credited. I'm on IMDb, and I'm seeing top cast, and I don't see him being credited. And maybe it was like an uncredited role. I mean, like all cast and crew.
But for me, I mean, I liked it because it was so different. Like, to me, this is something completely left field. Like, because you went from, which, I mean, I feel like it was kind of obvious of okay, we went very far into the future. Now let's go to the past.
Right.
But, like, let's go to the past and deal with ghosts.
Gas monsters. Gas creatures.
Gas. Yeah.
Demons. Or
it was.
I don't know what the hell they are. I don't know what anything is in this show. I'm just
wrong. And okay, so just to prepare you, you're gonna be wondering that the whole time. What's the point?
Like, but you go from one thing to the next thing to this, and they just so happen to run into this crap everywhere they go. Is this a case of they run into it everywhere they go because they're the ones who bring it? Or is it just dumb luck, or there's just always something like this going on? And he's more aware to it because of who he is and what I don't know what he does.
Especially with, in the first episode, whenever Rose met up with the crazy guy, like he said, wherever he goes, there's like destruction or something like that. So right. That's what kind of makes me think, and I don't remember if this gets talked about later, but just like, I think because he goes places, that's why situations happen. But I wonder if, like, in his mind, he's thinking, "Oh, I just happen to be in the situations." You know what I mean? Like, very interesting.
Yeah, it's and you're listening to the guy who's the head morgue guy. I don't know, funeral director, and he's like, "Oh man, this keeps happening." And you're like, "What?" maybe you're in the wrong line of business, buddy. Like, time for a career change, you know? Um, and then the lady that he's with, Gwyneth, um, you find out he took her in at an early age, and helped raise her. And she has she's a medium. She can
Yeah.
kind of like read people's minds, though, too, because mediums can't read people's minds and see what they're thinking that are alive,
Hmm.
right? Mediums just communicate. They're a medium to communicate with those who have passed. If I'm getting my mediums correct, which I don't know for sure. What about
Yeah.
you? What do you know about mediums? They
Uh,
communicate with the dead, right? That's their whole purpose.
yeah, I think there's a lot of things about mediums, if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
All
But
right.
again, I'm not a professional.
Nor am I. Um,
It's not really something I think I've even looked into much. So
yeah. And so you've got these gas creatures, and they run into Charles Dickens, which the doctor is a huge fan of. To which when he tells him that, he's like, "You don't look like an object meant to cool people. You don't look like a fan." He's like, "No, a fan, like a blah blah blah." He's like, "Oh, okay." Um, and now they bring Charles Dickens along on this adventure on this episode, and he's very, "Oh no, this is all fake. This isn't real." Until they prove to him that it is real, and I don't. It was just weird. I thought the pacing was a little bit off on this episode. I thought it was a little bit of a slower episode. Um, and I don't. So you got the first one where you're dealing with like the end of the world type stuff, and you're fighting these monsters and things like that. And then the second one where there's just there's just so much. It was the pacing was a little bit slower, but there's just so much to distract you from that, right? All the different aliens and things like that. Whereas this one, you're back with normal people, plus the gas creatures. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. It's a slower episode. It almost feels like a filler episode in a sense.
okay,
Um, but I think I would assume the reason for it really is just to kind of show all aspects of like we're going to deal with aliens and we're going to deal with spirit slash whatever
gas,
the hell they are.
yeah,
Like
because they would.
there's nothing off limits that this show is not going to show you.
I agree with that, and I'm 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
Uh, and the gas creatures are actually evil, and they're trying to take over the world. Um, and then Charles Dickens figures out how to save the day, and I don't know. It's just wild, right? Like I'm saying these words, and I'm like, what am I even saying?
It is it's definitely, I mean, not on my favorite list, but it's still like you said, it's very weird. And I think it's still a necessary episode. But yeah, it's just I just sorry, I'm stumbling over myself, but just also trying to think of like whenever I first watched it versus now. I think because I remembered this one because not a lot happens in a
No,
sense. So it's just like pretty easy to remember everything that kind of happened with this. But I still was like, this is a weird show. I love it.
it's very weird, and I feel like you get a little bit more of closeness between Rose and the Doctor,
Hmm.
uh, where he's calling her beautiful and things like that, and they're arm in arm, skipping along, having a great time, going to see Charles Dickens and all this fun stuff. And I, I, I don't know. It's just so weird and so out there. And he's blown up his second building, so he's blown up 2 buildings in 3 episodes
Oh,
so far.
just wait.
So that's his thing. He blows buildings up, which I mean, are you not creating huge ripples in time by doing this and messing things up? And then like Rose points out, she's like, "Well, isn't him going and writing about all these blue spirits and stuff like that gonna mess with his future?" And the doctor looks at her, he's like, "No, he's gonna die in a week. He dies next week. So
Yeah.
it's this date, and he dies next week. So we're good. Like nothing to worry about here."
Uh, yeah. Yeah. that actually, I mean, it was. I think it was supposed to be a sad moment, but I kind of just laughed and I was just like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, because I mean, just the way he's very unemotional while being very emotional. If that sounds odd,
Yeah.
right? Because he's very charismatic and things like that, and people are just kind of drawn to him when they talk to him and things like that. And I'm drawn to him as a character, but as far as like emotions go for things, he doesn't have those. Like it's just got to get stuff done, and we'll get it done, and that's it is what it is, right? So
And I like the building of and being able to see kind of like their friendship, relationship, whatever it's happening, you
mhm.
know?
Yeah,
Because it definitely makes you wonder is like, okay, is this a friendship or is this going to be a relationship?
I don't know.
You know?
And then also part of me kind of thinks like it might end up being like a one-sided thing just because of how unattached he is, um, versus her being a human can become more attached to things. And you've seen that, right? As the episodes have gone on, she's talked about, hey, like this episode, she's like, this day is this day, and this is just gonna happen, and then it's over with. And she's getting very emotional about that. And even in the second episode where she's talking about this is the end of the earth, she's like, Earth is just gone. Like, what the heck? Like, my mom's gone. Well, okay, well, this is 5 million years in the future, so yeah, your mom's gone, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just you really see that she gains more emotional attachments versus him, where he's like, hey, you want to go see something cool? Let's go watch your planet blow up. It's awesome.
Yeah, and she's like all distraught about it. He goes, "Come on, it's cool."
Yeah, this is awesome. No one's on there. It's cool. No one's on the planet, so don't worry about it. So we're good. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one. I haven't finished an episode yet where I'm just like, even this one, this wasn't my favorite of the three. I still enjoyed it, still had fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So,
I agree.
yeah. But hey, guys, thank you so much. Like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If there's anything you want us to watch, send over an email to parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.